Swish League is upon us, and joining us tonight to kick things off, because it's going to be a hot season down at the Hive, Lincoln High, this summer starting June 19th. Juneteenth is going to be tipping things off for the Swish League 2025, their 7th season. You guys, in case you guys forgot who the champs were last year, come on now. Elite Ballers. Guys, check this out.
Pro-Am, right? So should be playing Pro-Am rules.
Yeah, I did not notice that. Great job catching that. That is an elite take there by DJ Carter Hollinger.
You're Elite Ballers coach. What are you saying in the huddle?
I mean, I'm just saying, keep doing what you're doing. I think they're executing really well.
Jaden gets the screen from Skylar.
Nice.
Jaden attacking the basket. That is a great take by Jaden there. That is an excellent screen by Skylar Spencer.
Move like that on the perimeter. It shows all the work that he's put in.
What a great dump off! Oh my goodness, Jaden, what a dump off to Skylar Spencer, and he raises the roof. Finishes it 94-81. This game is over. Elite Ballers is your Swish League 2024 Pro-Am champs. This was an absolute pleasure. Kevin, Fiend, this Swish League Pro-Am was amazing.
I love my guys. I love our teammates. We play together. Shout out to my family, my mom, my wife, my kids. Shout out to the Swish League for putting this on for the city.
Love it. Fiend, you killed it on the broadcast. Of course, thank you to everybody for helping us out on the Swish team. Man, I had so much fun. Of course, you had Bryant down there, Kev.
They're so good, yeah.
On the table.
Yeah.
And everybody who helped volunteer, man. We had a blast this past summer. And joining us right now, first and foremost, we want to bring in Coach Koo, one of the founding members of the Swish League. What's going on, Koo? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Great.
Can't wait for Swish, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's right around the corner, and we're hyped. We're ready to go. I think this will be, hopefully our best season ever, and just looking forward to trying to bring some new stuff to it, and just bringing the city back together again in the summer is always a fun thing, and everybody gets to kind of hang out and collab, and so it'll be it's gonna be a blast, man. We're excited.
We know you're a busy man, so we thank you for joining and spending a couple minutes every Monday. We're gonna try to give a little Swish update leading up to the big opening night there at Lincoln High.
Yes, sir.
Let's bring him in because he was the winning coach for the Elite Ballers that we just saw there. Give him the shout out and give him thanks, and we want to make sure we welcome him in. Coach Brian, what's going on? Brian Ganster, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
It's great to see you, man. Outside of Swish League.
Good to see you, Ganster.
Great to see you guys, man. Thank you for that video. That was dope, man. Brought back a lot of exciting feelings.
Kind of nice to look back on just a couple months ago, man. We're gonna get a repeat. We're gonna get it back to back. Is that what's going on? You were calling your shot there.
We're gonna certainly try. It's a very, very competitive league. It took us 3 years to get it done. So definitely no guarantees, but we feel like we got a pretty good chance.
I was going to say last year was probably your most impressive run because in the previous 2 years, you were like the number one seed going into the the playoffs. And then I think you got knocked out both years in the semifinal, 1 year by a Kashad Johnson, Matt Bradley led team. And then the next year you had a couple guys, I think, that left to go back to Europe, Skylar Spencer, a couple others. And that kind of put you shorthanded and lost to a really good low ballers team. So last year, being able to get over that hump, get that championship, that must have felt good for you.
Oh, it felt great. I mean, I'm almost 50 and I'm still as competitive as ever. And, I put this roster together with specific guys in mind that play a certain way. And we've been in it for 3 seasons. This will be our 4th, like you said. And that first year we went undefeated in the regular season. So it was a great way to start our first year in the Swish. And yeah, we lost in the semis to some Aztecs that were just too much for us. And yeah, that low ballers team the second year, I think we lost 1 game in the regular season in the second year. And that low ballers team has some really nice, tough players that I have a ton of respect for, and they got us again. So no excuses. I try to build my roster as deep as possible, so no matter who's around, we can be competitive and win. And I think you saw that really last season. In the third season, we had tremendous variation on our roster from game to game. I think we lost 3 games in the regular season, so we struggled the most. I think that was the most competitive season I'd seen in the Swish last summer. So to be able to then come into the playoffs and win 3 straight and have some real tough games to get that done was a really great feeling. And yeah, we definitely want to get back there.
What do you think, Koo? What do you think from the competitive standpoint on what Coach is saying, man? As far as across the board, competitive wise, does that line up? Can you agree?
Absolutely. Coach has been there, for a while, so he's seen kind of the growth of the league and the different players that have come through, and it's a testament to him that he kind of was he's tinkering and try to figure out how to make sure, like, the year he's talking about where he lost some guys to, I think some guys had to go out of town for a wedding, and then there was guys leaving to go overseas to play, and guys were just gone. That year he had probably the best team on paper as far as regular season went and all that stuff, but you know how it goes. The league is all about depth and having, a number of players, not just 1 or 2. And so he adjusted and, did what he's supposed to do. And, had a team from top to bottom, 1 to 15 that could all play and we're all ready to go at any time. And, it's a testament to Coach that he gets these guys to buy in, to show up, which is not easy to do in the summer when this is their time off and, they got families and things like that. So this is definitely our most competitive season, this past season. I think a lot of the general managers now and coaches are really into it 100%. They're taking it real serious. They want to win. The bragging rights for San Diego are out there. And, we see these guys all the time around town. You know what I mean? Like Brian's at Aztec games and you'll see him in the gym, down at the jam, working out guys. So like we see each other. So, when you see him, you know it. And then, I've also seen some video and, Brian's walking around in the Swish shorts just to let everybody know, who won and who was wearing these shorts when we won. So, it rubs people, you know what I mean? So I've spoken with other GMs as well too. And I know people are raring to go because, they want to crack at the champs for sure. So he's done a great job of, since he's been in the league, of just putting together, top-notch players. But what that does also is it pushes these other GMs to step up their game as well too, right? Because if you don't, you're going to get embarrassed, which is what they were doing here for a couple of years. And they just got unlucky in the playoffs, those last 2. But this year, this past season was their year. And, they pulled through and did a fantastic job with a great run, down the stretch to really pull that thing out. But yeah, definitely. And I think this year will be just as tough, if not tougher. And then it's going to keep getting better, every year moving forward.
I could definitely tell, Coach, like the team environment there during the games, it does reflect on like a family atmosphere. Just you shouting out your family and just seeing how tight knit the guys were. I mean, you got a little program going on down there, man. It's very impressive.
I appreciate you saying that, and I thank you. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, it is a program. I've been at this in San Diego for probably 15 years, and it's just been word of mouth and doing quality work. They call us trainers, but I really see myself as a basketball coach, a teacher. And these guys on my team I see them, they're really my guys. That's what's so cool about it. It's, for the most part, it's not just a collection of guys that I'm recruiting. These are guys that have been working with me since some of them in middle school. And when the Swish first started, it was such a cool thing for this city, and we were all so excited. And in its infancy, I had 10 or 15 guys, spread across that league. And we always said, man, wouldn't this be cool to one day have our own team? Mm-hmm. And it took a couple years, but with my help of my right-hand man, Coach Thompson, and 3-point play, and Skylar, the rock, the spine of this program, we were able to pull it together. And I keep you guys see it every year. I've got new young guys that are just out of high school, and they get thrown in the fire, and we're developing it. And I know that all those, look at a guy like Jaden from Point Loma Nazarene who played for me right out of high school and backing up pro and D1 guards and didn't play a ton. And then coming down, last season in his second year after a year of college, and he was playing a ton and playing really good. And then, this year he's in his, 2 years deep and one of the top D2s in the country. We expect big things out of him. Or another young guy like David Scariano that didn't hardly play last year, but was at every game, absorbing it up from the pros, from the Dalton Thomases and Skylers and Tommies and Ben Okoden. And all these pro guys that come back, Xavier Johnson. The list is long, so we really created this team originally for all my pro guys, but they're so darn busy that, it worked right into my D1 guys and the D2 guys and the guys fresh out of high school. And so it is a program, and we do preach family and teamwork and playing the game the right way. And that's one of our main goals, is to go out into a informal pickup type game, but of highly competitive players, and maximize the opportunity to get better individually, to get better collectively, and compete, and that's what we do.
I'm curious how you do that, because you're saying the family environment, right? Playing that style of ball. And I know you've known many of them. You're saying from some go way back as far as middle school ages and all that good stuff. But at this point now, as they're pros, right? They're all pros. They're all playing across different stretches of the world. How do you get them to buy into that family type of culture?
Yeah, that's another great question. That's just the type of guys that I associate myself with. High basketball IQ, team type players. And that's no knock on individual skills, because we all need them and have to have them. But I think that all my guys are all kind of on the same basketball wavelength, so to speak. And we see the game the same way. And we know that collectively our individual talents are for the most part, going to be better than one player on the other team, and that's what we keep trying to prove. This Swish League, they have guys that scare me to death, and I have the biggest team, but with the NBA rules, I can't put Skylar in the paint. They just stand him in the corner, right? And so now it's up to us as a group to figure out how to stay in front of these SDSU guards and these Lincoln guards and all these other guys whose names I'm not thinking of right now, but it's a nightmare. But we know and we believe, and you saw it even last year where we won games at the buzzer, just because we stuck to our system and we stuck to what we do and we believed in it and we pull it out. Doesn't always work and we can be beat, but we really believe that the game is to be played a certain way. And when it's played that way, you're better. When you get better shots, you make them. You compete on defense. You get out in transition, and the Swish is tough too because of that running clock, man. You don't get a lot of possessions, and if you don't get stops, and that's what a lot of teams are doing to us. They slow the game down, and they force us to guard these guards in the half court, like Malik Parsons, for example, or Norman Powell. No one, we got lucky and missed him last year. So I know Jeff took the brunt of that. So shout out to his group, because they were really good too. But that's just the way we do it, man. We're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably the most organized team that I've seen in Swish, running sets and just really, playing on the same page. Some of the games, it can kind of resemble just like a pickup game, but it feels like an organized basketball game when you guys are on the floor. So, shout out to you for all the preparation that you do with those players and, getting them to buy in a summer league game, which more likely to see, during college, pro season. But I was just curious, one of the things that I love about Swish is it seems like every year there's guys that just pop up on the radar. It's like, wow, where did this guy come from? Why didn't I see this guy before? This guy's really taken a huge development. And a lot of these guys that I've seen from Point Loma Nazarene, I'll tell you what, Point Loma Nazarene, some of those guys that have come through like your program, they could play for state. They could get rotational minutes at SDSU. A guy like Bennett Coton, he could have played at SDSU. He actually would have been very helpful on that 2022 team. A guy like Caden Anderson, and then the newest one is Luke Hopp, right? Like he's signed with New Mexico, right? So we got to face him next year. And that guy, I've had my eye on him for a couple of years. He's a really, really good player. What is your connection to like Point Loma Nazarene, and like how do you find these guys?
Man, I mean, I could go on about that, but I've been connected to that program kind of informally for 10 plus years. Trent Suzuki, way back in the day, hooked me up with Coach Jordan over there, who was one of the assistants over there for a long, long time. And he used to run the best pickups in San Diego in the summer. And he'd get guys from all over, the pros and the college guys and the SDSU guys. And so I just kind of got my foot in the door over there. And then when Coach Logie came to coach a couple years ago, he really embraced me. You know, Ben going there, I had trained Ben when he was in high school. So that really helped. You know, the way you just get connected, once you kind of get your foot in the door, you know, you just kind of get to know them. And then Coach Downer, even more so, just embracing me. And you know, just I see those guys just like you, like they're not the best athletes, you know, necessarily, but they're all pretty darn good athletes, and they're really, really skilled, and they're still close to the same size. And so I agree with you. Some of those guys could definitely play a role at the D1 level. And I think Luke Hopp is kind of the one that finally got a chance. You know, Caden kind of toyed around with going his last year to a D1, and Dalton, even before him, who was like the National Player of the Year, runner up, plays in the EuroLeague. I mean, these guys are nasty players. And I mean, how cool is it that I can get 5 of them on my roster? And, you know, I don't know if you all know this, but in the D2 level, the coaches can't work with their players in the summer. So they don't get a chance to develop them. So back to your previous point, we don't practice, like we don't have necessarily plays, but we do talk strategy, and we do have a high IQ, and we all kind of know certain things and are able to execute them. But to have those guys, one game last year I had all 5 of them, and Coach Downer was actually there at that game. This one we played in the second gym when the lights kept going out, and which was a cool experience. And I had all 5 of those guys on the court at one time for 2 quarters. Like, that is so cool and special to me that I was able to do that. And I know that it really helps with their development in the long term. So I appreciate all these coaches, the entire coaching staff at San Diego State. It shows me nothing but love. You know, Coach Lavin and his guys, same thing. The guys at Point Loma Nazarene. I'm getting to know the new coaching staff at UCSD. Same thing, Cal State, San Marcos. You know, so it's really, really cool for me as just a random dude from Phoenix, Arizona, that has been coaching basketball and playing basketball his whole life, that I've been able to build this network. You know, it's just really cool. And then to the Swish, for the Swish to give us this opportunity. I mean, to be able to put these 20 guys together that are my guys, so to speak, you know, is just the coolest thing in the world. And to have the support of my wife and my kids, and my mom, you know, it's special.
Yeah, and there's so much talent in San Diego. It's so much fun to watch, and to have a showcase like this, like Swish League, to be able to see that. You know, I honestly, when I first started coming to Swish League, it was all about just the SDSU players, you know, because that's who I had interest in. But you know, the more and more I come, the more I see just the talent, notice it, appreciate it, and you know, you see guys like a Kylan King, you know, playing against Miles Bird, just cooking, you know, an exhibition game. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm like, oh, wait, that's Kylan King. Oh, I've seen him at Swish League. Yeah, I saw him do that, you know, for UTG. And so it's really cool to follow these guys when they're in college, and, you know, to see a guy like Trey Taylor, you know, I told Coach Ryden last year, what the heck is this guy doing playing Division II? This guy's a Division I player, you know, and now he's got a scholarship to to
Montana.
Yeah. So really cool to see a guy like that make that step up and to see his journey, and also get to see him at Swish.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to Coach Jeff. I mean, that team that Coach Jeff's is all his. You know what I mean? Like, those are all kids that he's been working with since they were little. And look at these guys. I mean, NBA, Malik's playing over, first division in Germany, like, just killing, unguardable. Like, shout out to all the coaches, though. I mean, it's the coolest thing that Koo and his group have built. And I know we're still in the infancy of it, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad I was finally able to get my foot in the door with my guys and work it out. It's stressful, but it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, those games are priceless. My son and my daughter sit on the bench with me is so cool, and just the connections, the relationships, the around town. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a hobby, and I'm just in this for the respect. That's it. Like,
yep.
I've been trying to prove myself since I was a little kid in this game, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Swish is definitely a worldwide showcase. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys realize that last year or the first year putting the games on the live stream. I mean, we had people watching from Europe. We had people watching all over the world and tuning into these games that you guys get to prove yourselves, and these young guys getting a chance to get out there and learn a little something from a vet, or teach somebody else something that's just coming up in the college ranks. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Last year, the biggest surprise, the number 1 seed got knocked out. Right. So, I mean,
in the first round,
anything could happen.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys too. I mean, you guys are changing the game for us. I mean, this is so cool. And to have it on YouTube, have our games on YouTube, my family can watch, my friends can watch, to have it on there in the future, so I can send out links to people, like, that you guys take the time to show up and broadcast and interview us and do this. I mean, it is, and connect us with your Aztec network. I mean, I get it. The Aztecs are the biggest draw in town, and I'm proud to have one of the biggest ones on my team. And we hope to have more, and I'm so thankful that the league has so many of them, and that they've been embraced. And shout out to all the other. I mean, we got like 7 D1 and D2 programs in this town, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's incredible, and they all support it, and they all come out, and it just lifts the competition. And there's so many pros that you never heard of that are nasty, getting paid to play. I mean, not the San Diego State guys from San Diego you never heard of, and to get the chance to showcase those guys and for them to embrace it, and they see that, hey, when they come home in the summer, this is their best run. This is the best thing in town, and to commit to getting to Lincoln on Thursdays at 5:00, that says a lot. That there's a product on the court that is valuable to the highest of level players, and it's worthwhile for fans who love basketball to come out for free. The parking is free. The doors are free. You can go to a snack bar. It's very reasonable. Like, it's what a thing to do with your family and your friends in the summer. Like, it's incredible. Shout out to everybody involved. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So cool. I mean, this is year 7. Coach said it, up in the game. I mean, I'm thankful to be a small part. Me and Fiend and Andrew behind the scenes. Just to be a small part of showcasing the work that you guys do and all the players and whatnot. So, I mean, this year coming up, year 7, and any more info we can kind of sprinkle out there for the listeners, the watchers back at Lincoln, of course.
I mean, definitely. As far as we'll Suns is going to be back again and, broadcasting games, and, we'll get definitely a little bit more in depth with it, as you guys know. And, outside of that, it's just, we want to get people down to the gym. We want people there to come see and, come check it out. Even if you have an AAU program, bring them down. You got a high school program, bring them down. You got your family, you got nothing, we get it. It's San Diego and it's summertime, right? And we fully understand that. But at the end of the day, this is supporting kids. This is supporting the area, and these guys, these are all guys these people follow and they watch. They've known these people for a long, long time. So, just getting people to come out and kind of watch, and, people starting to learn the history of, Swish and some of the stuff that we've been doing over the years. Like you guys mentioned it, we got to the playoffs last year. Playoffs were probably the most competitive playoff we've ever had. We had the number one overall seed who on paper was just loaded, absolutely loaded. And, they ended up getting upset by, a team with a guy who dropped 43 that you would never think would happen like that. So it's just, there's a lot of drama that goes into it as well, too. So it's not just, come and watch some basketball, some pickup games and, eat some hot dogs and leave. Like there's definitely high drama to it. There's definitely stakes that are involved, and these guys care. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Ganster wouldn't put the time and the energy. He wouldn't have his kids sitting there on the bench. He wouldn't go and spend all his time to be there in the summer when he could be out on the beach with his family or doing other things with his family. He brings his family there because it means something to him. And I think it means something to a lot of these guys. And so, the respect I have for Coach Ganster and all these other coaches is, it's through the roof, man, because we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without them. So we all support each other. I know, us as a group, the Swish Foundation, we put this thing together, and, the origins of it is, we started this thing because, I played in a Pro-Am long time ago, back in 97, 98. It was phenomenal for me because it's what allowed me to get seen, to get a full ride scholarship to go play basketball at Grand Canyon. Without that, I didn't have anything. I was just kind of toiling, didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to play. I knew I could play. And me being able to play in that Pro-Am, there's some coaches that came to watch another guy, and, I went off in a game, and they see, I know, within a couple of weeks, I ended up getting a scholarship and getting down there. So I know the power of, being able to play in something like this, to have this thing out there in our community. So it's just cool to be able to do that. And so, we've all been coached. We all are coaches. We've been coaches at different levels. We've coached, AAU, stuff like that. And so we're here to help kids, help the community, help grow the game of basketball in San Diego, keep putting San Diego out there. Cause, we're always looked at as little brother because we're down the street from LA and that type of stuff. But the amount of talent that's here needs to be showcased and needs to be seen. And, guys like Coach Ganster, and shout out to all the other coaches and GMs in the league. There's some of them that have been with us since the very first year, but they see that vision as well too. So when everybody sees a vision like that, and sees an end goal and can come together and kind of do their part to make this thing work and blow up, that's why when we do something like this, we don't know this. The Pro-Am that I played in back in '98 lasted 2 years and disappeared, and didn't come back again until we started this thing 7 years ago. So, this isn't something where it's just like a ho hum thing, right? Like, these things are hard to run. They take a lot of effort, and they take a lot of support from, the Coach Gansters of the world and the other GMs and managers and players as well too. So, being able to do this at a high level and being able to feel like we're competitive now, even in our infancy, is something special. And that's a shout out to, the coaches. That's a shout out to, Sons being able to come in and help us kind of broadcast this and get this out to more people, in our area and out of our area. So, we're looking forward to this thing just keep growing and growing and growing and getting stronger every year like it's doing. And, hopefully get to do some collabs and things like that to where this thing is just going to kind of take off. And, this is something where we're not gonna be able to do this forever, right? You want it to be where when we leave and it's our time to move on, we can pass this on to somebody and this thing just keep rolling. And, we can do have a league here in San Diego for 50 years, 60 years, like some of these other cities in the country do. And it's doable here. It is, especially with the connection to San Diego State and the love for basketball here and just athletics in general. It's definitely doable here. So it's just something we're just trying to do our part. And, thank God we have, coaches and teams like Elite Ballers to kind of be able to showcase like, hey, this isn't just some ho hum thing, man. Like, this is serious, and these guys take it seriously, and they play. These are real ball players. These are real coaches. And, this is something that should be paid attention to.
Absolutely. It's building in the community, for the community. Yep.
Absolutely.
The Summer Madness at Lincoln High, of course. Sundays will be down there, of course. And looking to do some more games. Thursdays as well down there, Thursday nights. So, hey, The Summer Madness at the Hive. I love it. We're gonna have to think of some new ways to market that, because man, these games are gonna be so competitive, so competitive. I'm seeing in the chat already. Other coaches want to know who's on the elite ballers roster already. It's a community, but it's competitive.
I know. I don't want to spill any beans. I can tell you, there's some Brian and his crew have kind of lit a fire in everybody's ass, man. So everybody's ready to go. I can tell you that. Like there's some calls that are gone out that I know about that are they're trying to bring the big dogs, man, because they know to take this team out, they got to bring the big dogs in. So there's this. I feel like this year is going to be our biggest and best year. Like I know I said the same thing, the previous years, but it just keeps doing that again because of teams like Elite Ballers, where they up the game and they step it up. And if you don't keep up with them, you're going to get embarrassed. And we got a lot of competitors here that they're not letting that happen. So no, this is going to be a tremendous summer. And I feel like once we get down to that playoff run, towards the end of July, it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be must watch TV and must watch, in the gym. And it's definitely going to be a hot ticket for the summer for sure.
So we still got a few weeks. Are we solid on how many teams? Are we still adding some and all that good stuff?
We are solid right now with teams. I do not believe we're going to be adding any as of right now, but we have a really good set of hopefully around 10 teams, and it's going to be real good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys definitely want to make it down Sundays, Thursdays. If we're there live streaming, you want to get on TV, got to be down there. Got to be down there in the gym.
Absolutely.
Coach Brian, real quick, but you've had a lot of players come up through your program. So I got to ask, start, bench, or cut? Start, bench, or cut? Skylar Spencer, Mark Ogden, or Xavier Johnson.
Wow.
Oh man, that's not fair.
Put you on the spot.
That's cold-blooded, man.
Those are my guys. I've been coaching Mark since he was at Grossmont College. A lot of people don't know that's where he got his start.
Do that, Mateo.
Xavier,
you got a list. You got to give them like Jeff Goodall's team. 3 guys.
Yeah, someone else's team. Those guys have all been some of my closest guys for a very long time. So I'm gonna start them all every time.
Absolutely.
I appreciate those guys so much. Their commitment to me over the years, their trust in me. Those guys, Angelo Ochoa was the first Aztec I worked with. Tyrone Shelley may actually been the first one, and Angelo right around the same time. And that's how I met Skylar, and those guys have just shown me nothing but love. That connected me with Nathan, and I've probably worked with 15 to 20 Aztec players over the last 10 years. Some of them once, some of them countless times. So what an honor that's been. I appreciate those connections, and I appreciate all the guys that trust in me. That's really what it comes down to. They feel like the things that I do make them better, and that's why they keep coming back to see me, and why they show up and play on my team and all that. But I will say my roster this year is going to be a lot different. My D1 guys like Yassine and Cody and Luke, they're all going to be off at college this year. I'm excited to get AJ Bergen back for the first time. He's been one of my guys since he was in middle school. Shout out to his dad, Aaron, who does a great job on the mic as well. And I'm really excited to get him in there. Some new guys from Point Loma. Hope to have some guys from USD, UCSD. I've got some guys coming from San Marcos. So we're going to have a really diverse new group. Some of the core guys obviously will still be back, but it's going to be a different group, and some of the young guys are going to time for them to step up. So awesome. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about the new talent that Ku's talking about that's coming in to challenge us. And that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, we do this for a reason, and it's to compete and get better so that when they go off to their next situation, their real situation, they're a little bit better off for it. That's what the summer's for, getting better.
Absolutely. Well said, Coach. Absolutely. And, you've done a phenomenal job, and it's no coincidence that when these guys, leave after the summer and they go to whatever college or pro program they're with, they're all successful and all do well. So that's not a coincidence, man. So definitely shout out to Coach, man. He's been doing a fantastic job, and he's kind of a model for, you know, how you should kind of run a Swish team and a summer pro team and kind of get these guys to buy in for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Koo.
All right, I'm gonna have to think of a different start, bench, or cut lineup for you. Next time I see you, when I see you there, I'm gonna think of a good one. I'm gonna think of a good one. Guys, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a fun summer down there working with you guys. Of course, it's all business. You know, once we get there, it's like set up. Everything's just boom, 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 boom. It's go time.
Yeah.
But we really had a thrill this past summer watching you guys. It was so much fun watching all the teams compete. And watching you guys coach, getting in there in the huddle with the camera work, you know, getting up close. I mean, Swish is just such an up close and really intense personal view that you guys get to have of all these players. So can't say it enough. Thank you guys for having us be a part of this thing. We look forward to growing it even further, year 7 and beyond. And man, looking forward to next week when we get somebody else coming down from Swish League and joining us and chatting it up and getting to know them.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for, you know, giving us the showcase, not just Swish, but for, you know, giving these individual coaches and GMs, you know, like Coach Ganster a showcase, just because, you know, I think people will really understand the league more if they get a chance to understand and hear these guys talk. And, you know, Coach Ganster represented himself in the program and Swish extraordinarily well. So this is, you know, if you get to come down and see us, this is what you're buying into as far as the program and what we're doing. And, you know, it's being able to have guys like Coach in there and some of these other programs, you know, that we're going to get to talk to throughout the next 6 weeks here before we get started here on Juneteenth.
Very excited. Very excited. There you have it, guys. Swish League co-founder. Can I say co-founder? Coach
Co-founder.
Koo?
Yes.
And the 2024 champion coach of the Elite Ballers, Coach Brian Ganster. Thank you guys for joining us.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
Two-time.
Yes, sir. Two-time coach of the year. Yeah, two-time. Way to let him know, Coach.
Who's counting? Hey, and shout out to my guy Skyler, his blog, Footprints blog. If you want to hear about a life of an overseas baller, go check it out. So much.
Hey guys, we'll talk soon.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
All right.
Good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Looking forward to this summer, Fiend. Of course, having you on the call.